G'day peeps and welcome back to another speed paint. Now this time around we're doing BIOSHOCK. God, I just really wanted to draw BIOSHOCK today. Fun fact, I actually wanted to record BIOSHOCK. Not the original series because I haven't actually even quite finished the first game, but just through spoilers and all kind of information I've gotten over the years, I pretty much know how the game's gonna turn out in the end. I've not been that good at dodging spoilers, so I think the only game I actually quite finished of the three is Infinite. And I didn't play the second one. I'm planning to play all of them, by the way. But right now I'm sort of playing them backwards and tying it together that way. But I wanted to record me playing the DLCs for Infinite, because, well, as far as I can tell from how far I've gotten into the game already, I can tell that this is going on. This is where the timeline starts. Like, this is before BIOSHOCK as a whole. By the way, if you don't get BIOSHOCK, why do you click on this video? I'm just kidding. I will be talking a bit about the lore and stuff and things I find interesting. And the lore and world of BIOSHOCK is one of the things I find just the most interesting. But yeah, I wanted to record the DLCs, Burial at Sea, I believe they're called. Yeah, Burial at Sea, Part 1 and Part 2. Which I thought were just regular DLCs, like, I don't know, 3 hours long in total, but no, those are basically a whole nother game, and you get to play as Elizabeth. That's so cool. I'm so happy you get to do that, and there's all kind of different plasmids and abilities, and they brought back Eve and all that, and you even go back to Colombia. It's just cool. I wanted to record it, but unfortunately, this piece of garbage right here, my computer, is absolutely awful and lag spikes whenever I try to record it. Or I actually did record like 4 episodes. I recorded the whole first part, which had an amazing plot twist at the end of it. But yeah, it apparently turned out that the small lag spikes I was getting in the game were much worse than the recording. Like, literally the screen freezing for like 15 seconds. It was just, during combat and intensity, it was just not good for anyone. So I decided not to record that. But yeah, BIOSHOCK has one of the most intriguing stories to me, because it's weird because those are pretty linear games, right? Like, they're not really open world like Dark Souls or something, but the lore kind of hides itself like Dark Souls. Or, I don't know, like, I kind of like that idea that we as a community of gamers who play the games have to sort of discuss and theorize what's going on. But I can't give the game too much credit, because it actually feels like they try to explain to you what's going on, and they just might fail at it through, I don't know, either the story is too intense and they're just not doing a good job at, like, at telling you about it and explaining it to you, or they're intentionally doing it. If they're intentionally doing it, then good for them. If it's not, then, well, it turned out good for them in the end anyway. So, like, even I, who played up, like, all the really relevant, I just said I only played Infinite, but as far as I know, the second one isn't very connected. I can't say that yet because I actually haven't been, what's it called? Well, yeah, I haven't been spoiled about the second game, so I don't quite know. I just know you're playing as Big Daddy. I've heard it's the worst of the 3 games. A lot of people might be wrong, but they say the second is the worst game, so I'm assuming it doesn't have a lot to do with the timeline. But I think it's really cool how they, like, weave the story of Infinite into Rapture. Because Infinite, like, at first, Infinite doesn't really make sense, except, like, it doesn't even take place in the same time. So it's kind of like, it's only at the end that they really connect as BIOSHOCK games. And I think that the DLCs are actually very, very important in tying those together as just like a trilogy and not just games going on in the same universe. Definitely, if you played the whole series and you're like thinking, nah, I don't know if I should play the DLCs. They're basically a whole game combined. Like, I think they're 8 hours long combined. I've heard the second episode is a lot longer. I haven't finished that one yet. But I'm in for a ride. But as I said, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get to upload it. But what was I about to say? Oh yeah, the story. I really or not the story. The world, I like the way how they weaved it together. Yeah, I already talked about that. It's just, it's so out of the box, you know, right? Like there's no other series like BioShock out there, right? Like you can't quite call this game steampunk. You can't call the trilogy steampunk really, because it's not going on that far back. It's a weird subgenre because it goes on in like, what's it, the 20th century? And it's so cool how they like describe and completely make up this alternate universe where I think these two men in different timelines, Comstock and Andrew Ryan, who are both sort of power mad, they go off and create their own world with this crazy technology that we discovered earlier or something. All this crazy technology we discovered instead. But I like people were excited about going back to Rapture and Burial at Sea, which I thought was cool, except you get sunk immediately and you don't really get to come back to Rapture, as far as I know. You might do in the second part. As I said, I didn't finish it yet. Maybe I should have made this video when I actually played all the games, so I could actually talk about the lore without sounding like an idiot. But yeah, like, I like Columbia more. I know I might get crucified for saying that, because Rapture is like the original. But playing the games backwards, BioShock 1 just seems a lot less impressive compared to BioShock Infinite. Because Infinite is just so good, because I know the story of BioShock, which is why I'm gonna talk about it. So, by the way, spoilers, in case you haven't played the first game. The story is very, like, it's very linear. Like, you go through the whole game, you don't really know why, you're just told, hey, Andrew Ryan, he's a bad guy, we gotta kill this guy. Then there's a plot twist, and now there's another bad guy. I actually did quite a good job at hiding spoilers there. But that's basically the story. You go to kill another guy, but the guy you worked with, he sort of like said, bam, I'm actually the evil guy here. Actually, they're both evil, never mind. But the story in Infinite is much more intriguing, right? Isn't it? Because you're sent, you don't know why, we don't know quite why, there's a lot of stuff hidden to the player, but we just know we have to collect a debt, we're deep in debt, and for some reason we have to clear this debt by getting this girl. And then we find out that she has a lot of powers, and like we just learn about the timelines. It's such a cool story compared to like a regular BioShock, I think, because it takes place across multiple timelines, and all the time you're like wondering, what the heck is going on? And you're waiting for the ending where everything will finally be explained. Unfortunately, most players, me included, just sit there at the ending still like, what, excuse me, what game? And yeah, you just have to go online and binge different videos talking about and explaining the storyline, because while BioShock Infinite's storyline is good, it's kind of confusing if you think about it. If you get that on the first try, then you probably had to analyze a lot of, like, you just had to sit back and analyze it a lot. But if you're just going straight through the game, you might probably not get this. You might probably not get the ending. I do, however, kind of get it now after looking at several like timeline tables, and I think the story is really interesting. As I said, even after seeing those timelines, seeing them or getting visualized the storyline, it's like, yeah, okay, I don't blame myself for not picking this up. This is really confusing. But anyway, I think I ran it on for long enough. I think I'm gonna do more videos about these lore type of videos, like lore, like Fallout. I should definitely do Fallout next, because oh boy, I really like. I think it's so good. Like, I guess as a semi-artist, I really appreciate creativity in like story making, because, well, but I can't give Bethesda credit for that because they didn't make the original world, but I really like these alternate timelines. Like, Fallout takes place somewhere else completely, and it's just like, oh, this one invention, I think it was the microchip or whatever, And then it's like, oh, let's see how the entire world changes due to like how the whole world's technology changes because of this one lack of technology. Or this just other focus. And anyway, I shouldn't rant on too much because otherwise I'll run out of things to say in the upcoming Fallout speed paint. Once again, I have no clue what this looked like. I'm probably gonna draw like a Big Daddy or like one of those Comstock Patriot things, if I know myself very well. I don't know how I'm gonna do about that, how well I'm gonna do at it, but let's hope it turned out well. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.